Good day everyone, I am Jessa and now I will discuss to you the friction force, center of gravity or centroid, parallel axis theorem, composite area, product of inertia, and mass moment of inertia through examples. Let's get started. Let's start with the friction force. So, a 200 kilogram block is placed in an inclined plane as shown. If theta is equal to 10.5 degrees, compute the frictional resistance and compute the total reaction at the surface. So, given dito ang coefficient of friction in static case and dynamic case. So, in static case, the coefficient of the friction is equal to 0.40. While in dynamic case, the coefficient of the friction is equal to 0.25. So, because we are using the we are in static, we will solve a static problem today. We will use the coefficient of friction in static case. So, of course, first of all, we need to expose the forces involved here. So, basically, this is the free body diagram. Yung una nating gagawin is, of course, the weight is vertically downward. Yung inanalyze natin, ilalagay natin yung box in an inclined plane. The tendency of the motion is where the bottom part is located. So, the frictional force is opposing the tendency of motion. In a plane, we have a normal force which is perpendicular to the plane, and let us call it N sub R. Yung normal reaction natin, kasi pag N lang, may possibility na ma-identify siya as unit which is Newton. That's why I put R, so it will serve as like a key to know that is a force. And then, our frictional resistance should oppose the normal reaction. So, importante ang free body diagram natin para ma-designate ang direction ng forces. Kasi if mali yan, mali rin ang lalabas na sagot natin. So, first in a friction problem, you need to identify the direction of motion. Mas maganda na yung x and y axis natin is gawin na lang natin along sa plane para madali siya i-analyze. So, basically, the weight can be resolved into components. We call it W sub t along the x-axis and W sub n along the y-axis. So, first, we will get the weight, which is mass times the gravity. So, 200 times 9.81. So, the weight is equal to 1,962 Newton. Then, we will check the available maximum friction. So, for maximum friction, we have a formula mu s, or the coefficient of friction for static case, times the normal force or normal reaction. So, hindi natin makukuha ang maximum force if hindi natin alam kung ano ang normal reaction. So, first, we will find the normal reaction. So, summation of force sub y equals 0, and then we will think that it is positive upwards. So, W sub t is equal to W sine theta. Kasi, W sine theta, kasi yung theta natin is opposite siya sa W sub t. Kaya naging sine siya. So, W is equal to 1,162 Newton times sine 10.5. So, ang WT natin is equal to 357.55 Newtons. In WN naman is equal to W kasi beside lang siya ng theta natin, ng theta natin. So, cosine siya. Cosine yung gagamitin natin. So, weight times cosine theta. So, weight is equal to 1,962 Newton times cosine 10.5. So, WN natin is equal to 1,929.15. Then, kasi nakuha na natin yung WT, yung value ng WT natin at WN. So, gawa tayo ng summation of Fy is equals to 0, which is NR, or normal reaction, is equals to the normal weight, or WN. So, ang normal reaction natin is equals to the WN, so which is the WN is equal to 1,929.15 Newton. So, nakuha natin ko ang value ng WR natin. Then, we can now, kasi may values na tayo ang coefficient of friction in static case at yung normal reaction, pwede na natin kunin ang maximum force. So, ang μs natin, which is given, 0.40 for static case, times the normal force, which is 1,929.15 Newton. So, ang maximum force is equal to 771.66 Newton. Which is, ang force natin is less than sa force, maximum force. So, to get the required friction, or to compute the frictional resistance, we will do the summation of Fx is equals to 0, na i-assume natin na positive right siya. So, F, a force is equal to WT, which is, na-solve na natin kanina when we are finding NR rather. Then, so, ang F natin, or force natin, is equals to 357.55 newtons. So, na-solve na natin ang value na, ang hinahanap sa letter A. Sa part B naman, compute the total reaction at the surface. Just simply the reaction, or R, is equals to the square root of F squared, which is the force squared, plus the the normal reaction squared. So, alam naman natin kung ano ang value ng normal reaction at ang value ng force kasi nakuha na natin siya kanina. Nasolve na natin siya sa part A. So, ang force natin is equal to 357.55 Newton squared plus ang normal reaction natin is 1,929.15 squared equals yung square root of 357.55 squared is equal to 127,842.0025 plus 3,721,619.723, which is the square of 1,929.15. So, i-add natin yun siya, magiging square root of 3,849,461.726. Then, kukunin na natin yung square root. So, ang reaction natin is equals to 1,962 newtons. Na-solve na natin ang part B. Okay? Did you get it? Let's proceed to another example. So, our second problem is all about the center of gravity, or centroid. So, this is an example from the book of Hibbeler. Locate the centroid of bar X and bar Y of the cross-sectional area. So, itong nasa gilid lang. So, let's say the first part is area 1 and the second part is area 2. So, syempre, rectangle naman siya and given na ang measures ng length at ang width nito. So, when we get an area of a rectangle, we will use the length times width. So, ang length ng area 1 natin, ng ng rectangle 1 natin is 4. And then, meron siyang width na 0.5. So, 4 times 0.5 is equals to 2 inches squared. So, ang area 1 natin is equals to 2 inches squared. For area 2 naman, kasi 3 inches yung measure nito, babawasan natin ng 0.5 kasi yung area lang na occupied ng area 2 natin is nabawasan ng 0.5. So, magiging 2.5 na lang. 2.5 inches ang length at 0.5 din yung width. So, 2.5 times 0.5, ang area 2 natin is equals to 1.25 inches squared. So, kukunin na lang natin yung total area ng dalawa. So, total area is equals to area 1 plus area 2. So, ang area 1 natin is equals to 2. Plus, ang area 2 natin is equals to 1.25. So, i-add lang natin yan lahat. So, ang total area natin is equals to 3.25 inches squared. So, para makuha naman natin yung bar x at bar y, gagawa tayo ng tawag dyan, mag sub 1 at mag sub tayo. So, bar x sub 1 is equals to 1.75, which is makikita natin doon sa ating sa drawing, sa ating illustration. Then ang y sa bar 1 naman is equal to 0.25 inches. Then ang x bar sub 2 naman natin is 0.25 over 2. So, ang x bar sub 2 natin is 0.25 inches din. Ang y bar sub 2 naman natin is equals to 4 over 2, which is yung 4 inches yung length kanina ng area 1. I-divide natin sa 2 kasi ang center niya is nasa gitna. So, divide 2. Ang y bar 2 naman is equals to 2 inches. So, para makuha natin ang x bar, gagamit tayo ng formula na x bar area is equals to summation of area x bar. So, gagamit tayo ng formula na area 1 times x bar sub 1 plus area 2 times x bar sub 2. So, para makuha natin yung x bar, i-divide na natin ito sa area. So, ang x bar is equals to area 1 times x bar sub 1 plus area 2 times x bar sub 2 over yung total area. Next, so, i-substitute na natin yung mga values ng na-solve na natin kanina. So, area 1 is equals to 1.25 times ang x bar sub 1 naman natin is equals to 1.75 plus ang area 2 naman natin or area sub 2 naman natin is equals to 2 times ang area x bar sub 2 naman natin is equals to 0.25. So, i-divide natin ito lahat into 3.25, which is our total area. So, x bar is equals to 0.827 inches. For y bar naman, same lang din yung formula na gagamitin, pero yung gagamitin natin is ang value ng y bar sub 1 at y bar sub 2. So, yung area 1 at area 2, same lang ang values nun. So, area 1 times y bar sub 1 plus area 2y times y bar sub 2 all over the total area. So, 1.25 times 0.25 plus 2 times 2 all over 3.25. So, ang value ng y bar natin is equals to 1.327 inches. So, ang centroid natin ay nasa 0.827 inches at 4x at 1.327 inches naman for y sa cross-sectional area. So, ang third example problem natin is all about parallel axis theorem. So you can see a big letter I. It looks simple, but it has a lot to do with it. So we need to know, what we need to know is to find the IXX about central axis. So, nakikita niyo yung letter I, meron na siyang indicated values or designated values sa each part of letter I. So, we will use the formula 1 over 12 base times height cubed plus area times the distance squared. So, ang IXX is equals to, nakita niyo yung horizontal part ng letter I. As you can see, and makita mo yung mga values na naka-indicate dyan, this, lang sila, the same value, or the same lang sila, exact or equal. So, we will just use 2, kasi lahat yan, from the bottom, in between, at yung sa top, gagawin natin. So, kasi, pag-isahin na lang natin yung bottom at yung top, kasi the same lang man sila, at equal lang man yung mga values nila. So, we'll just use 2, times 1 over 12 times yung length is 16, yung base 16, times the height, yung height is 2 inches, so cube natin, plus area is length times width sa rectangle. So 16 times 2 magiging 32 siya. Na-direct ko na siyang isolve. Times ang distance naman from here to here is 8 inches. So, times natin, squared natin yung 8 inches. So, plus, yung area naman is, gagawin ulit natin siya yung sa gitna. So, 1 over 12 times 2 yung distance, yung base niya, yung dito, kasi, 2 siya. Then, nakita naman natin, may indicated value siya doon. So, 2 yung nasa gitna, yung base niya. 14 naman yung height. Na nakalagay rin yan doon nakalagay rin dito sa ating letter I. Naka-indicate siya. Is, cube plus 28. Kasi, bakit 28? Yung area natin, kasi, 14 siya, i-times mo sa 2. So, magiging 28 times 0, kasi, yung distance is 0, kasi, wala namang naka-indicate na distance. So, squared. So, makansel na yung 28 times 0. So, matitira na lang is, yung 2 times 1 over 12 times 16 times 2 raised to 3 plus 32 times 8 squared at 1/2 plus 1/2 times 1 over 12 times 2 times 14 raised to 3. So, ang total nito is, makita naman natin ang solve value ng IXS is equals to 4,574.66 inches raised to the 4. So, merong easy way to get it. Then, other way is I is equals to, gagawin na lang natin yung IXX, magiging bar X siya, ay bar Y. Is equals to the summation of Y area all over the summation of area. So, 1 over XX is equal to 1 over 12 times base times height cube. So, 1XX is equals to 1 over 12 times 16 yung base, 18 naman yung height, cube. Kasi, 14 plus 2, 16 yung dito sa gilid. Kasi, binuo ko siyang isang buong rectangle. Isang buong rectangle yan. So, kapag isang buong rectangle, yung ginawa ko, i-add yung 14 sa dalawang 2, sa 2 inches. So, 14 plus 4 is 18. Cube. Minus, i-minus natin yung hindi siya kasali sa letter I. include pa rin siya sa malaking rectangle pero hindi na siya include sa letter I kasi letter I lang yung hinahanap natin. So 2 times 1 over 12 times yung distance dito is 16 minus 2 is 14, divide natin sa 2 magiging 7 times 14 yung height dito. Cube. So, equals 7,776 minus 3,201.33. So, IXX natin is equals to 4,574.67 inches raised to 4, which is equal siya sa na-solve natin kanina. Now, we will proceed to our fourth example, which is all about the composite area. Find the area of this figure. So first, we will just separate into composite parts. So meron tayong semicircle, merong rectangle, at merong triangle. Second, find the area of each part. So basically, find mo lang area na semicircle, rectangle, at triangle. Then, so for area of semicircle is equals to pi r squared over 2. So, ang pi natin, pi times natin sa 15 kasi indicated naman siya dito. So, 15 squared. Bakit siya 15 squared? Kasi yung diameter is equals to 30 millimeter. So, divide 2 natin kasi radius na naman yung hinahanap. So, magiging 15 all over 2. So, pi times 225 over 2. So, ang area ng semicircle natin is 353.43 millimeter squared. So, ganun din yung gagawin natin for rectangle and triangle. So, area of a rectangle is equals to, ang area ng rectangle is equals to length times width. So, ang length natin is 24 kasi indicated siya doon, 24 millimeter times, yung width naman natin is 30 mm. So, ang area ng rectangle is equals to 720 millimeter squared. For area naman ng triangle is equals to 1/2 base times height. So, 1/2 times yung base is 42 minus 30 kasi hindi naman siya included into triangle, magiging 12 na lang siya. Times mo sa 24, which is the height, kasi equal lang siya sa height ng nasa rectangle. So, 1/2 times 288, ang area ng triangle natin is equals to 144 millimeters squared. So, after that, i-add lang lahat ng area ng mga composite parts doon. So, total area is equals to area of the semicircle plus area of the rectangle plus area of the triangle. So, we will just substitute the values of the different areas. So, area of semicircle is equals to 353.43. I-add natin siya sa area of rectangle which is equal to 720. At i-add din yan natin siya sa area ng triangle which is equal to 144. So, kung i-add natin lahat, ang total area is equals to 1,217.43 millimeter squared. So, nakuha na natin ang area ng figure na ito. So, we're almost there. Second to the last example is all about the product of inertia. Determine the product of inertia of the L section with respect to X and Y axis. So, mahilig tayo sa letters. Kanina, ginamit natin ang I. Ngayon, gagamitin naman natin ang letter L. So, meron siyang indicated values, kagaya ng kanina. And then, we will find the product of inertia dito sa ating letter L. So, first, we will sum up to I, X, and Y sub 1 is equals to 0 and I, X, Y sub 2 is equals to 0. So, first, kukunin natin yung I, X, Y sub 1 muna. So, I, X, Y sub 1 is equals to I X and Y sub 1 plus area of 1/2 times 4 over 2. Kasi 4 over 2 siya kasi nahati siya ang area. Then, is equal to, kasi yung I, X, Y sub 1 natin is equals to 0. So, makancel na yan. So, ang natira na lang is area. Ang area 1 natin is 4 times, kasi hatiin din natin siya into 2 composite parts. Dalawang rectangle siya. So, 4 times 1, magiging 4 times 1/2 times 2. Kasi dalawa yung, kasi dito, makikita mo yun dito sa ating designated examples. Sa ating designated values. So, ang matitira na lang is 4 cm raised to 4. So, sa I, X, Y sub 2 naman natin is equals to I, X, Y sub 2 plus area 2 times 1/2 times 1 plus 3 over 2. Next, kasi makita naman natin, i-equate natin siya kanina sa 0. So, yung value ng first equation is equals to 0. So, makancel out siya. So, natira na lang is 3 times 1 times 1/2 over 5 over 2. So, kung i-solve natin yung lahat, magiging 15 over 4 cm raised to 4 or 3.75 cm raised to 4. So, para makuha natin ang product of inertia, i-solve na lang natin, i-add natin yung IXY sub 1 at ang value ng IXY sub 2. So, IXY sub 1 plus IXY sub 2 is equals to IXY sub 1 is equal to 4 plus IXY sub 2 is equals to 3.75 at yung unit na centimeter raised to 4 kasi common unit nila yan. So, ang total natin is, ang value ng IXY natin is equals to 7.75 cm raised to 4. So, for our last example is all about the mass moment of inertia. So, our problem is, determine the mass moment of inertia, I, Y, of the slender rod, which is, makikita nyo yan dito. Nakaguhit yan siya dito. Then, so, gagamitin natin, para mas madali, gagamitin natin yung formula kasi meron rin siya naka-indicate na mga values. So, ang length natin is equals to 6 centimeters. So, first, kukunin muna natin yung value ng IY. Next is, para makuha natin yun, magiging siyang, gamit tayo ng formula na y squared is equals to the integration of x squared AC dx respect to negative L, from negative L over 2 to positive L over 2. So, equals AC all over 1 over 3 x cubed to negative L over 2, from negative L over 2 to L over 2. So, AC, 1 over 3 is equals to L over 2 cube minus negative L over 2 cube. So, AC, 1/3, AC times 1/3 times, i-add natin ng L over 2 is magiging 1/8. Separate na lang natin yung L. So, magiging siyang 1/8. Change natin siya into 1. So, 1 over 8 plus 1 over 8 kasi negative times negative is equals to positive times L cube. So, ang y natin is equals to 112 kasi 1/3 times 1 over 8 plus 1 over 8 magiging siyang 2 over 8. So, times 1/3 magiging 2 over 24. So, magiging 1 over 12 siya. So, times length squared, kasi nag-integrate tayo, minus na ng, exponent, centimeters. So, nakita natin na may value, may naka-indicate na value ang length natin. So, change natin ang length natin to 6 centimeters. So, 1 over 12 times 6 squared centimeters. So, 1 over 6 squared is equal to 36. So, 1 over 12 times 36 centimeters. So, ang IY natin is 3 centimeters. That's it for today. Thank you for listening, and I hope you have learned something from our discussion for today's video. Thank you!